All right. The time is up. How many of you have completed the answer? Okay. How many of you are writing? How was the question in terms of difficulty, content wise? Easy, tough. You had content, lack of content, moderate. I had no content. So it is a question that where you actually have to, create connections. You might be reading about the role of judiciary, and at the same time you might be reading about a lot of electoral reforms that are happening, or you that should be happening, right? And yes, court cases become very important in it, and there are generally 4 5 number of court cases that you must know. For example, Lily Thomas case is very important. You have to write ADR, you have to write PIF, Public Interest Foundation case, UCL, yes. So all these cases you have to write down for explaining what wherever electoral reforms issue is coming, you have to mention it, right? And then majority of the electoral reforms have been either directly by judiciary by bringing out cases, or it has been a push to the government to bring out the change. Correct? So mention that. The question is not only like you can mention all the cases, but it is also a push to the legislature, or other political parties themselves to bring in more transparency and fairness for conducting elections, right? Wrote MCC, electoral bonds, Indira Gandhi case, Article 71. Very good. Indira Gandhi case is a very good mention here. Rule of law. All right. VVPAT and Nota, yes. Very nice. VVPAT, yeah. So we'll discuss. I think the content that you guys have given here in the chat box is quite good. It might be possible that some of you don't have that content, but it is okay. The content that we are discussing here, or we will discuss in the answer, will like prepare ho jayega electoral reforms ka question. So just be aware that what we are talking about, and pick up the content from that, and whenever you read about it further, so you should know what you're going to read and what you're going to pick, what you have to write actually in a answer. Voting age, EVM introduction, awareness day. Very good. Stay on caste based rallies. Recent ruling of CJI LOBS Election Commission Appointment Committee. All right. So, judiciary has played a crucial role in nudging government for political reforms, political parties for participating fairly, and empowering citizens by increasing information available about their representatives. Fair introduction? Then what is the role of judiciary? Declaration of conviction and pending cases by candidates via public interest foundation case. Immediate disqualification of convicted candidates via Lily Thomas case. Ensuring double check by paper trail in VVPAT for ensuring citizens' trust against EVM tampering allegations. Right? Disclosure of electoral funding and expenditure in Common Cause versus Union of India case. Introduction of Nota via PUCL case, empowering citizens to register their choice. setting up fast track courts for conviction finalization for resolution of issues via PIF case, data collection and publicizing of mandatory filing of affidavit by political parties via ADR versus Union of India, right? The data availability has been possible because of that. Then what are the steps required further by judiciary for furthering more electoral reforms? Empowering election commission and ensuring its independence, limiting political election expenditure. In 2019 election, 55,000 crore rupees were reported to be spent, one of the largest expenditure in the world. Faster resolution of cases as criminalization is increasing. Then again, that small graph would tell the fact instead of writing the fact that the 43% of people are convicted in MPs are convicted in 17th Lok Sabha, rising from 34% in 15th. Whatever we have done this before, right? We have drawn this in previous answer. So you have to use the same content multiple times. That's the best way to use content. So judicial activism for electoral reforms is a way of cleaning politics and strengthening democracy in India. Right? We told about how it has and what are the steps further required. Correct? Publication of criminal data by parties, yes. That is also a good conclusion that judiciary has, like, you can define separation of power, that major like responsibility lies upon the legislature to ensure that this is being done, electoral reforms are happening. Graph is not actually in conclusion, it is on a point before that. So you can add graph anywhere, in any point, and even if it comes in conclusion, that's fine if it is making sense. Again, representation should not be an enemy of content. Representation should only support, augment content. All right. Next question लिखे. चलो. The strength and sustenance of local institutions in India has shifted from formative stages of functions, functionaries and funds to contemporary stage of functionality. Funds, function, functionaries से issue functionality पे चला गया है. It is saying. Highlight the critical challenges faced by local institution in terms of functionality in recent times. What is functionality? How would you define functionality? कि issue है क्या, present issue है क्या इनके साथ? Working. Like the impact of what they're doing. Is it coming out? The effectiveness of their functions. Right? Not only the functions, but the impact what their functions are supposed to do. That is functionality. Right? So, are you able to understand the question now? It might look a little typical at first, but it is not that typical. हमारा जो major content है about writing about like local government का क्या issue रहता है, what is the issue of local government, we have to mention it here in the format, rephrasing it in the format how it is asking the question. Right? Another thing, have a target of writing one committee. Do you know any committee on local government? Okay. LV Sangvi, GVK Rao committee, Balwant Rai committee. Yes. So Ashok Mehta committee. So write one committee. Have that target in your mind that when you're writing an answer, not necessarily in introduction, conclusion, anywhere in a point or conclusion or introduction, whatever you feel right. Okay? Chalo, start writing. Okay, the time is up. How many of you have completed? How many of you are writing? Good, good, good. So this is a very commonly asked question, and this content will be used in multiple places, like rephrasing it and using it, right? So what was the introduction of the question? I have problem understanding the question. So that's why I brief it beforehand, because I feel if the direction should be given so that you are able to implement, apply the whole of your brain, do all the brainstorming accordingly. So question just says that earlier the strength of local institution was based on funds function functionaries. Now that formative stage is over. Now we are talking about functionality. That is, whatever work they are doing, how much, like how what is the outcome of it? How is the functionality? Then you have to just highlight what are the issues of local institutions in terms of functionality. Why are they not able to perform well? Right? Yes, 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. That could have been a like very like common thing to write. Like you can write it, and it's a good introduction. Yes, result orientation work. Growth in paper only, right? Article 40 DPSP could also have been a very good introduction. Then what is the structure? How did you go forward with it? Gave a brief about funds, functions, functionaries, a slight brief that it had existed and it has been covered up to a certain extent. You have to write, it is saying it is a problem of past. So you have to also tell to a certain extent that yes, it is a problem of past, and whatever could be done has been done for funds, function, functionaries. But the new issue is functionality. Right. So we'll discuss. We'll see the answer, how it looks on as a answer written. Introduction, committee, local government, intent of local government, impact, challenges, way forward, conclusion. Okay. 2 lines on fund, function, functionaries, functionality, way forward, and conclusion. Correct. Yeah, points under subheading will show the evaluator, like he can glance through, he or she can glance through what structure you have made. So it will make it clear that the person is talking about all the topics that have been given in the question. That funds, function, functionaries also you have to talk about to a certain extent and tell that some steps have been taken to complete it and it is not a problem now. Right? Chalo, we'll see. Let's discuss. So again, 73rd, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act aimed at creating units of decentralized power and authority, which is reflection of Gram Swaraj, right? Through the constitutional provisions of Article 243, Part 9, 9A, Schedule 11 and 12, the units have strengthened in the following aspects. So we will show how funds, function, functionaries are working. Fine. Functions, Schedule 11, 12 list provisions of local bodies, involvement in government scheme implementation. What about functionaries? Timely elections, term defined, reservation for women, SC, ST, institutions of State Election Commission, State Finance Commission, Article 243I, Article 243K, they exist. Then funds, Finance Commission, devolution of funds specifically to ULBs, right? Taxation and collection power. Though various compulsory and voluntary provisions, through various compulsory and voluntary provisions, the institutions have been established. Its current challenges stands in functionality. Now we'll define functionality. That is the usefulness of the institution in the task it performs. So there have been some successes. Social empowerment, 45% electives are females. ICR's hands of the government for last mile delivery, holding government accountable, social audit like in Meghalaya, awareness of citizenry, promoting good governance. You can say Gram Sabha, via Gram Sabha. However, there are challenges for local institutions in functionality. Infrastructural, that there are only 20% gram panchayats have computers. Economic surveys say only 6% of the resources are mobilized by themselves, self-mobilized. You can also write comparison that Brazil has 40% of it mobilized by self. Then tied nature of funds that amount to greater than 50% related to schemes. Social issues that lead to functionality issue, poor capacity of representatives, proxy representation, for example, Sarpanch Pati, low participation in Gram Sabha. Political challenges, parallel bodies like SPVs in smart cities, politicization and bureaucratization. GVK Rao committee says it is grass without roots. Corruption and siphoning of resources. Mani Shankar Iyer committee says decentralization of corruption. So what are the measures for strengthening functionality? Soft measures are required and hard measures are required. Soft measures in the sense capacity building, imparting technical know-how, strengthening Gram Sabha People's Plan campaign, economic and social development planning with inputs from GPDP, Gram Panchayat Development Plan. What are the hard measures that can be taken? Devolving fiscal power and funds, using PRIs, ULBs and schemes, scheme implementation and evidence collection for policy making. Ensuring Atmanirbhar Panchayat is the way forward to Atmanirbhar Bharat. I can understand the content is too much, but again, I have to provide a benchmark to you. It is a well-written answer. It is a very good written answer that the violation of words is happening here. You might not be able to write this much in the final, in the final time limit and space limit. But you have to understand that I have given you to pick up content. You pick up content from here, but you have to take up how the structure goes ahead. Structure is correct, right? Like structure you have been able to verify for your answer, and some content you can add on to your answers from here. What are soft measures and hard measures? Hard measures are like infrastructural measures, something that has to be put in place, tangible changes. Soft measures are intangible changes, attitudinal changes, operational changes, right? I have to write a model answer because I can't show you a average answer, right? So don't get intimidated with this answer. While I was writing, I was aware of the fact that I'm writing too much. I'm writing very accurately, and I'm writing like the facts and all are too much here. But again, I would say don't get intimidated. This is not how you will write in final exam. You will take up content from here in for your answer, for your content, and you will be writing some portions of it in this structure, in this flow, in the form of rephrasing this according to the demand of the question. That is my only motive, that it should address the demand of the question, whatever it is saying. Didn't write 3Fs, no problem. But now that you know, you should understand that when the question is saying, if you didn't write 3Fs, then this was not needed. You could have directly written highlight the critical challenges faced by local institution in terms of functionality in recent times, right? But the question does give this. So you have to give some importance to this portion also. You have to explain. Had it been a conversation, we would have definitely taken this into account and talked about it. That yes, funds function functionaries have been completed to a certain extent. And this is the reason for it. See, this is how funds have been allocated. This is how functions have been allocated, and this is how functionaries are working well. Right? It's okay. I'm not saying you write it point wise. You may also write it in a paragraph format. Right? But just do address this part. The first statement that is given on which the final answer is asked is not useless. It is there for you to explain because examiner has asked it. Just keep that in mind. All right. So polity will get over today. Your response, like your feedback on polity, do you think that in the last 6 days that we have practiced polity, it has given you an insight on how to write polity specific answers and not general answers?
Yes, ma'am.
So and it has also given you a direction that what you have to study, how you have to study.
Yes, ma'am. We are able to write where we have to use articles, committees, etc. Ma'am. Thank you.
Good. So continue it. We'll have a test in last. uh, I have shared my polity notes. It's in the connect group. We'll have a test in the last. So keep studying, keep revising till then. And if some topics have not been covered till now, you try to cover. Even if they're not getting covered, do write the test. You have to write the test because again, whatever you know will not come in the final exam. In exam, most of the content will be that you don't know, and you have to make it right there. Okay, so do write the test. I would recommend sit in a exam type format, table chair, timed manner, and you go ahead and write the test sincerely. All right. Note making session on GS2 we took, Komal. It will be uploaded soon, like the previous session.
Ma'am, it got uploaded.
It did. Okay. Thank you. It's on YouTube probably. I'll ask the convert team to share the link. Polity, Lakshmikant, is enough. Like to certain extent, it is enough to increase your understanding about the polity basics is good. Then again, current affairs, use current affairs to support it, and keep writing answers, keep brainstorming, keep seeing questions and trying to solve them. That will help. Don't worry, even if it is not happening now, it will happen eventually. It takes time. Developing that understanding is different from reading content. It is a very organic process. It takes time, but you will see some results immediately. Like you will realize that you are in the right direction. Thanks, Akshay. I'm writing answers like layman. How to improve? Keep a conscious focus on when you're starting the answer, what you want to include in that answer. One fact, one committee, one court case, just one. Start with one. It will become a habit eventually. One article. Once it becomes a habit, especially like in polity, you know what all specific things you have to write to make your answer look specific. Right? In the connect group, I think it has been posted, my polity notes. Hasn't it been? It has been. On 4th November, it has been there with the pink cover saying this.
मैम आपके वाले ग्रुप में
Connect group पे. Convert IS Connect. I'll share the link again. Okay, इसमें मिल जाएगा. All right, guys, then. Study well. Kal from tomorrow we'll do governance and then we'll start on polity. I had to prepone a plan because I was not available on 20th and 21st. So I had to prepone. I didn't want to miss any of the classes. I wanted to complete it, and it suited, like it was making sense that you guys will be able to write tests in the whole week. So I had to prepone. If any inconvenience is caused, please do go ahead and watch the recorded lectures for that. We had one class on Sunday, one class we'll have on Saturday, this Saturday. Right? All right. Thank you guys. Study well.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.